and welcome to the West End Residents Association's debate for all City Council candidates. We're really happy that you could be here for this event today. It is my role as President of West End Residents Association to make sure that our community knows about the things that are going on for us and tools that we can have in this election. And so I want to draw your attention at this moment to the little pieces of paper that were on your seats. West End Residents Association, or WERA as we like to call ourselves, has launched a really cool new app for the election. And if you go to our website, it's called the Vancouver Vote Map. It works just like the CBC Vote Compass, where you answer a series of questions, and at the end of those questions, it tells you, based on your opinion on these issues, how you're aligned with the municipal parties. We had all the parties give us their responses to the issues that we asked them. And so when you get to the end, you can be assured that what you're matching up to is really what they feel is their platform. So I encourage you to go to wera.bc.ca and make sure that you're getting a chance to try out your vote map. Okay, so we're just about ready to go. We've got most of our candidates here, and I want to introduce renowned Vancouver talk show host, Pia Shandell, will be our moderator, and I'll ask her to come forward and get us going.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. Well, it's going to be quite an interesting event this afternoon. We have probably, it looks like we almost have more candidates than audience, but hopefully that will change. And it will change because we're using a format that is up to you to decide. In a sense, it's like a mini vote, a mini election. We're going to have groups of 3 that are drawn out of a hat, and they're all going to have a certain amount of time to introduce themselves to you, and then we're going to clap, you're going to clap, and we're going to drop one person off each group of 3. I know, how horrendous. I think politicians have to put up with so much, don't you? I mean, I think, first of all, let's applaud each and every one of these citizens for giving service. That's the number one thing. And it's a very interesting time for Vancouver and a very interesting election. We're not leading up to the Olympics. It's not really a partisan election, in my opinion. It's really about the issues. It's about what Vancouver now is and is going to become, and what is our emphasis on changing the directions we're going in or strengthening them. So I think city council members are going to be more important than ever, because whoever wins the mayoralty, they need a council to help them move forward, and there's a lot of moving forward to be done. So these, ladies and gentlemen, are your very important politicians, and so today, whatever they have to say to you, I hope will help you make up your mind what kind of a city council you want to have. And you know, the mayor is important, of course, but without a council, you can't affect real change. Neighbours for a Sustainable Vancouver, Representative Terry Martin.
What Neighborhoods for Sustainable Vancouver is about is real democracy. We believe we don't have it in our city right now. We believe that developer-driven agendas are running our city, and the citizens of Vancouver are not. So we want to bring real democracy back to Vancouver by strengthening neighborhoods, having neighborhoods make decisions that council respects, having a council that listens to people, having a council that doesn't just listen to one single group and shut everybody else out of the discussion. A great example is the STIR program building in this area. There are examples in neighborhoods all over the city that people have been ignored by council, and we want to change that.
Jeff Max from Vision Vancouver.
Hi, my name is Jeff Meggs. I'm a councillor with Vision Vancouver, Mayor Beggar Robertson, and I'm here today with Councillor Andy Reimer. We're very proud of the progress we've been able to make on trying to eliminate street homelessness, reducing it by about 82%. But I was very much focused on transportation issues, and we have done a lot of work to try to extend the U-Pass to post-secondary students citywide, and that did happen. We also were able to work with other parts of the region to get investments in Evergreen Line and SkyTrain completion of the Tri-Cities, which opens the door to more investment in Vancouver. As a result of that, there'll be hundreds of thousands of additional bus hours in Vancouver crosstown in the next couple of years. We're also very focused on what we can do here in the city to improve life for people who are involved in active transportation. So the Bicycle Advisory Committee is going to be changed into an active transportation committee that will produce strategic improvements for pedestrians, cyclists, and anybody else who is not using a motor. So please support us on the 19th.
RJ Aquino from COPE, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is RJ Keno. I'm running for City Council with COPE, Coalition of Progressive Electors. I'm also here with fellow candidate Tim Lewis. Where do I begin? So in a minute, I'd like to tell you a bit about what COPE stands for and what I personally stand for. We believe that the central issue in this upcoming election is affordability. And I promise to not just talk about the issues of affordability, not just to criticize, but to also work with all of our fellow councilors on council to find real positive solutions for the city. I decided to run for city council. I'm a new father, and I saw that I wanted to be a positive example for my daughter. She's 10 months old, and I also wanted to be a positive example for a lot of young people in the city. And what I want to do is I want to promise to act in a leadership position that will inspire other young people to follow and really pay attention to the issues so they can also be inspired to get involved. Thank you.
Chris Masson from Degrowth.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out today, and thanks for putting on this event. So I'm from Degrowth, Vancouver. Okay, we're a new party on the slate this election. We stand for well, two things in particular. One is a grassroots democracy, and that to us looks much like what Terry was talking about. You know, Neighborhoods for Sustainable Vancouver is also promoting, where the decisions are coming from the community up. You know, not once every 3 years when you vote. And the other thing, and Terry spoke to that very well, the other thing that we're really pushing for is the notion of transition, okay? And this goes back to why we're called degrowth, which is the idea that we all know innately that infinite growth is impossible, okay? And there's a global movement right now of degrowth, which is looking inward and saying, hey, we can't keep growing forever, how do we address this? And those are the types of questions that we need to be asking to fit in this global solution into our communities. Thanks very much.
The next person to speak is familiar to you, I'm sure, if you're a Vancouverite, Tim Lewis. Tim is a former Vancouver City Councillor and a great champion for the disabled.
Good afternoon, Tim Lewis. Very happy to be here today. Let's see if I can do this in 1 minute. I'm running because I'm going to get things done. Get things done by working with people from all points on the political spectrum. I have a 30-year record of doing that. 30 years ago I founded the Hanky-Dart system by working with people very different from me politically. On the part where I worked with the MPA to cut perks to park commissioners, use that freed up money for community groups, and also worked with the MPA to bring in North America's most restrictive policy with regard to whales in captivity. On City Hall, I worked with Vision Council to bring in an ethical purchasing policy, and with the MPA's Peter Ladner to bring in Vancouver's Food Policy Council. Enough about what I've done in the past. Let me tell you in the last 15 seconds what I want to do in the future, or perhaps more differently, what I don't want to do in the future. I don't want to keep stirring the West End. It's time we stopped stirring. No more stirring for the West End.
Okay, our next speaker is from Vision, Andrea Reimer, who is a current city councillor, a mother, and an advocate for the environment.
My name is Andrea Reimer. I'd like to start by acknowledging the Coast Salish people on whose unceded traditional territory we're meeting today, as we do every time we meet in Vancouver. Pia stole half my speech. I am elected to City Council right now, and I'm seeking re-election. I'm not especially passionate about microphones or public speaking, but I am very passionate about justice, about dignity, and about giving people a voice in my community. And that passion led me to overcome my public speaking fear to work out in the community. First with the Western Canada Wilderness Committee, where I worked for 20 years, including 10 as the executive director. I've also sat on many community boards. Some of the highlights that might be particularly interesting in West End, the Farmers Market Board. I was co-chair of Vancouver Food Policy Council. I was chair of the Women's Voters Congress. I'm also a former school trustee, and the West End schools were my liaison schools. And finally, I'm a renter. I did not see renters and people under 40 represented well enough in government, and have worked very hard to make their voices heard, and something I'd like to keep doing on City Council. Thank you.
How about Nicole Benson? Would you like to speak next?
Hi everybody, my name is Nicole Benson. I'm running with Neighborhoods for a Sustainable Vancouver, or NSV. Let's just call it NSV.
NSV,
Yes.
why not?
So I recently wrote an article which was published in the Georgia Straight Online, and in it I talked about the 3 things that are most important to me when it comes to civic governance and any kind of governance. One is that communities should be participating in the decision making about their own communities and the city as a whole. So like Chris Mason, I believe in grassroots democracy. The other is that there should be no undue influence from any major parties. So right now we have a lot of influence of developer money in politics, and I'd like to see that removed so that the processes are fair. And the final point was collaboration. I think it's so important that we collaborate within City Council and also with the people of Vancouver in order to come up with affordable, sustainable solutions for our city. And like RJ Aquino, I want to inspire other youth like me to get involved because we are the future of the city.
MPA candidate, George Affleck. And George is, I think, a communications kind of a guy. Wouldn't you say, George?
No pressure, I guess, there, right?
So communicate, yeah.
Exactly. Hi, I'm George Affleck, running for the NPA with Suzanne Anton and the team. I lived in the West End for 9 years, now live in Yaletown. I have 3 kids. I was the chair of the Fall Street PAC for the last 3 years. So I live in the community, downtown community. I believe in my background, I was chair of the Falls Creek Elementary, as I said, chair of the Comedy Festival, chair of the car co-op now called Moto. And for me, I'm getting into this because it's about giving back to the community, it's about being part of the community, it's about being engaged in the community, it's about helping the community. And no matter what happens today as far as just format, you can all come and talk to me afterwards, or you can phone me, or you can email me now and after I win on November 19th. Thanks very much.